Hiring the wrong person in a startup is not a small mistake. It doesn't just slow you down. It compounds. It burns cash, kills momentum. And sometimes it quietly destroys the company. And the worst part? Most founders don't even realize they made the wrong hire until it's too late. Let's break this down because hiring in startups is not about talent. It's about fit with chaos. Most founders make this mistake. They copy hiring from big companies. They look for big titles, big company logos, deep specialists, and on paper, it looks impressive. But in reality, it's completely wrong for early stage startups. Because startups don't fail from lack of talent, they fail from mismatch between the person and the stage of the company. So let's simplify this with one powerful framework. There are 3 types of people you can hire: pirates, settlers, and specialists. And each one belongs to a different stage. Let's start with the first, pirates. These are your early hires, your generalists, people who thrive in chaos. They don't need instructions, they don't need process. They don't ask, what's my job description? They ask, what needs to get done? A pirate can write code, talk to customers, fix a bug, design a landing page, all in the same day. Not perfectly, but effectively. And at this stage, that's exactly what you need. Because early startups are not about optimization, they are about survival. You don't need someone to scale a system, you need someone to build it from scratch. Now here's where founders mess up. They hire a specialist too early, someone from a big company, let's say a VP of marketing, or a performance marketing expert, or a senior manager who's used to structure. On paper, amazing hire. In reality, disaster. Because specialists are trained to operate inside systems, clear goals, defined roles, established processes. But your startup has none of that. So what happens? They wait for clarity. They ask for resources. They build decks. They plan, but they don't execute. Not because they are lazy, but because they are operating in the wrong environment. This is one of the most expensive hiring mistakes because you're paying for capability that your startup can't even use yet. Now let's move to the second stage, settlers. This is when your startup has some traction, maybe early revenue, some repeatability, still messy, but not pure chaos anymore. Here you need T-shaped people who have broad understanding and one area of deep expertise. For example, a growth marketer who can also analyze data, a product manager who can talk to customers and write specs. These people do something very important. They turn chaos into systems. They take founder instinct and convert it into repeatable processes. They still operate in ambiguity, but they also bring structure where needed. This is the bridge stage between chaos and scale. Now finally, specialists. This is when your company reaches real scale. You have clear product market fit, defined processes, stable growth channels. Now, specialists become incredibly valuable because now there's something to optimize. Now a performance marketer can improve CAC. Now a finance expert can optimize margins. Now a sales leader can scale a proven playbook. But here's the rule. Don't hire a specialist until you have a system worth optimizing. Otherwise, you're asking them to build something they were never trained to build. Now let's talk about why founders still make this mistake. It's not logic. It's ego. Hiring someone from a big company feels good. It signals success. It impresses people. But here's the truth. Impressive hires don't build startups. Useful hires do. So instead of asking, will this hire look good? Ask, can this person create value in our current chaos? Now let's get practical. How do you actually hire the right people? First, write better job posts. Most startup job posts try to sound like Google. Big vision, fancy perks, generic requirements. That's a mistake. Your job post should repel people. Yes, repel. Because you don't want 1,000 applicants. You want 10 right ones. So be honest. Say, this role is messy. You'll wear multiple hats. There's no clear playbook. The wrong people will leave. The right people will lean in. Second, hire based on outcomes, not skills. Don't say, must know marketing. Say, in your first 90 days, you'll generate 500 qualified leads. Clarity attracts doers. Third, always use trial projects. Interviews are performances. People say the right things, but trial work shows reality. How they think, how they communicate, how they handle ambiguity. Even a 1-week paid project can save you from a terrible hire. Now let's talk about interviews, because this is where most founders get fooled. The biggest mistake? listening to polished answers. Instead, look for evidence. Ask, tell me about a time you had zero resources and still delivered. And then go deeper. Don't accept, we did this. Ask, what did you do? Because startups need owners, not passengers. Also, test real work. If it's a developer, have them review your code. If it's a marketer, ask them to critique your funnel. Make the interview feel like the job, because that's the only thing that predicts success. Now let's talk about a real scenario. A startup hires a senior executive from a big tech company. High salary, great resume, big expectations. What happens? First 3 months, strategy decks, planning, hiring proposals, but no execution, no product shipped, no real progress. Meanwhile, burn is increasing, runway is shrinking, and the startup starts slowing down. Eventually, they realize they didn't hire a builder, they hired a manager for a system that doesn't exist yet. That's the trap. Now let's bring this together. Great hiring in startups is simple, but not easy. You need to match the DNA of the person to the stage of the company. Early stage, hire pirates. Mid stage, hire settlers. Late stage, hire specialists. And always remember, you're not hiring for comfort, you're hiring for contribution. Because every hire does one of two things. They create momentum or they create drag. And in a startup, drag is deadly because speed is everything. So before your next hire, ask yourself one question. Does this person fit our stage or just our ego? Because the right hire at the right time doesn't just help your startup grow, it can completely change its trajectory. And the wrong one, it can quietly do the opposite.